let me go to Mr. Godwin Ezimo. Anambra State has an average monthly expenditure rate of 4.72 billion per month. However, the state also has a total average monthly revenue of just about 4.54 billion, meaning a monthly shortfall of 180 million naira, down from 331.55 million naira in 2016. Each month, which is a negative indicator. How do you plan to reverse this trend?
Thank you very much. Anambra State, as we know, we have a trade-driven economy. And if we have a trade-driven economy, we can boost it. The way we will boost it is for us to start immediately, to provide an enabling environment, to encourage our brothers who are out there yearning to come home, but they do not have the environment where to plug in when they come. We have to do this. The way to do this is it will be in two prongs, two steps. One step will be for us to, meet with the, discourse, regarding Anambra State and make sure that we have a very sanitized distribution system where the power that it comes over to Anambra State is fully utilized. I've learned already, because I am so practical, I'm into business, I know the trouble I'm going through. I've already found out that a lot of power, sent to us within Anambra State are not used at all because the whole distribution network is faulty. Somebody has got to get this thing working so that we can get all of them to work immediately. But where they are not, where we have exhausted that, and then we can now generate power. As soon as we start generating power and make the environment enabling enough, then people will come and invest. When they invest, they will generate employment opportunities. They will generate more finance towards, boosting the economy of the state. Then from there, revenue will be accumulated, and with that we can make up for whatever shortfall we have, even more than that. Therefore, I know that Anambra State can do better with what we have on ground within Anambra State.
You've given us all of this. You heard what the governor said about the issue of importation and the issue of agriculture. Are you satisfied with that approach to the handling of the economy?
Sorry, go again with your question.
You heard the issue of importation of exportation of vegetable, for example, as part of what the governor said they are doing in Anambra State. Are you satisfied with that approach to turning around the economy of Anambra State?
No, in Anambra State, we do not need to import now. We will import not very large. We will have to generate what we need here immediately. We have the soil, very arable soil farms that are littered here and there, unused. The government has only encouraged people to go and build massive houses with ill-gotten wealth to show wealth. We need to get people now to invest into agriculture and start generating what we call raw materials as well as food for the people. When everybody, and we will encourage both industrial and the personal stuff so that people will have opportunity of making their food and everybody in Anambra State will feel. And then from that point of view, we will be able to increase our income domestically, not waiting for until we import anything and make profit out of it. I am telling you this out of my own involvement within this economy for the last maybe 10 years.
All right, thank you. Mr. Chidoka, the Anambra State debt profile as of 2015 was 3.58 billion domestic debts, lowest in the country, and $60.8 million external debts, 11th highest in the country, giving a total debt stock of 15.6 billion as of 2015. How would you plan to repay this debt as not to gear the state too much for future administrations and development activities should you be elected governor of Anambra State?
Thank you very much. The first shock I have is that the governor thinks that saving for future generation is a waste of time. And I think that is scandalous. That is disastrous, because that shows the type of economy we're running in Anambra State. I'll give you an example. Kaduna State, In the same period, Anambra State bandied around as doing very well in the economy, grew his IGR from 13 billion to 23 billion, reduced his wage bill from by almost 5 billion naira. And today they can pay their salaries from their wage bill. They increased their tax payer by over 100%. Anambra State grew its taxpayer from 180 to about 201,000. Kaduna State doubled its own in the same period. What is clearly lacking? What is the problem with debt? Lagos State has the highest debt profile in the country, but it's sustainable debt. It is debt because the IGR of Lagos State comes primarily from personal income tax. And personal income tax is a tax that shows that the economy is working. We cannot collect from the poor to build a state. We cannot collect from permits in the shop, from Okada riders to grow IGR. We have to grow the state by growing the people who live in the state, by focusing on the human beings. Now, our debt profile is insignificant, and we need to leverage on that. We need to leverage on that to build infrastructure for tomorrow. The infrastructure we need today, the greatest advantage Anambra State has is its human beings. We need to be the place in the country that is exporting programmers and coders to the world. We have the highest number of people who pass WAEC with English and mathematics every year. We should be able to train a new generation of people who will sit in Anambra State and program for Indian companies, for American companies. I believe very firmly that we have not leveraged on our most important resource, the human beings. And because the governor thinks that investing in the human beings is not important, in the future is not important, I can understand why he thinks that our path to growth is the path of doing what I call accounting and his auditing skills. So we are talking about cash management, leveraging on this. We are talking about growing the pie. Finally, for me, I think what is important, and this is an aside, is that if the governor thinks that the people in the state, which has the best human resource, people sitting on this table, have no executive experience, my attitude is that retiring from a bank at 60 with just executive directorship in a middle-level bank, you are not a performer. Those of us who left government, those of us who became chief executives at 35 cannot be talking about people who managed at 60 to be an executive director in a middle-level bank. So I think what is important is to focus on the issues before us. The issue before us is that Anambra State is not on a sustainable path to growth. The sustainable path to growth is the human beings.
All right.
It is focusing on the human beings.
Thank you so much.
To grow.